Are you thinking about moving to Tampa, Florida? In this video, we're going to talk about Tampa, Florida's most commonly asked questions when you're trying to make that smooth move over. And it's going to be affordability, diversity, downtowns, beaches, nightlife, etc. You're going to want to stick around to the end as we're going to share some of Tampa's finest secrets with you. And we're going to get after it right now. If this is your first time on the channel, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to get the market updates on Tampa, Florida.
My name is Debbie Diaz, and this is Andres Diaz with the Diaz Group at eXp Realty. We get calls, texts, emails every day from people just like you looking to make that smooth move to Tampa, Florida, and we absolutely love it. Whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us an email, send us a text, so we can help you make that smooth move to Tampa. So let's start out with affordability, because that is one of the #1 questions, especially in this market, that people have.
Tampa's considered 3% under the state average. We're 10% lower than Miami.
Miami and Jacksonville.
Therefore, there's a lot of singles and professionals that come to our area. It's just, there's no state income tax in Florida. So that's another huge attractive thing.
Yeah, very desirable, not having that state income tax.
The average home in Florida is right about $425. Many different ways to try to get that, and we can speak about credit and applying for that in another video. But affordability is definitely one of the highest reasons that people come to the Tampa Bay area.
But let's go back to affordability, because I wanted to mention that Tampa, well actually Florida, is the most popular place for VA, for retired veterans. One, it's because we have no state income tax, and also there's no tax on VA pensions. So, and along with our VA facilities and things like that, medical facilities.
Huge Air Force base, McDill Air Force Base in South Tampa.
Yep.
So yeah, we do that. We definitely have a lot of retired military and a lot of current active military, and folks working at the base as civilians as well.
We have, I want to say the last time I read it was just over 21,000 retired vets that are living in Florida.
Diversity?
Diversity. We are very diverse. We are the melting pot. I don't know if you've heard of Ybor City, but it was
huge influence of Cuban and Italian in Ybor City, way back to what they called Cigar City, which was, I believe we had over 200 cigar factories at one point. There's still many around, but that's really what made this area what it is today as far as diversity.
So if you are a foodie and you are anywhere in the Tampa area, more towards South Tampa, I would say, there's going to be no lack for just different types of food. You can get every single thing, whether it's Italian, Indian, Spanish, Asian.
We are home to the Cuban sandwich.
Yes.
The Cuban sandwich was invented in Tampa, Florida, of all places.
Yep, and the devil crab.
The devil crab. A lot of people don't know what the devil crab is.
And
how would you explain the devil crab?
Crab meat wrapped around, I would say, with
dough?
some sort of like stuffing, and then it's deep fried or baked, but typically you want it deep fried, so it's a
If
little
you know what a
crunchy.
croqueta is, I don't know how you say it in English, a croquette. It's very much like that, but that's probably a Tampa thing also.
But it is not to be confused with a Maryland crab cake.
No.
That is nothing like what a devil crab is. So you need to come visit just so you can try out a Cuban sandwich
With
and
a
a
devil
devil
crab.
crab. Yep.
Safety. I've been in Tampa my whole life, and really have never had any issues as far as any problem with safety. Never had a home invasion or break-in or anything like that.
I could say that maybe once when I was in high school, so let's just say like 16, 17 years old, my car got broken into at the mall. But
Mine too.
I would say that pretty much would sum up the only issues that we've had with safety. But like he said, we've never had our homes broken into, or just drive-by shootings or things like that. That you're seeing a lot of.
I'm sure we've had them, but it's not something that's prevalent or that you're going to see happening very often.
Right.
another big thing of Tampa, which is probably the biggest con of Tampa, for me anyways, is traffic.
Really?
Yes, I-4.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say, right in the city of Tampa, I would say traffic's not terrible, because I feel like you have so many different outlets.
You do. You have I-4, you have I-75, I-275.
Veterans,
You got a lot. You got a lot of ways to get around town. But probably like any other city, I don't want to get caught out there at rush hour.
No.
Whether it's 9 in the morning or 5 in the afternoon, you're gonna hit traffic on I-4 especially.
Well, like if we were comparing it to, like, let's say Atlanta, there's many times that we're visiting my cousin in
Or
Atlanta,
LA.
and it doesn't matter whether it is an off time, like 10 a.m. or 2:30, we are still sitting in bumper to bumper traffic. I feel like every time we've gone to Atlanta. So Tampa's gonna have, all these different avenues and interstates, but obviously at your peak hours at 8 and 5, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit slower than normal, but I just don't consider traffic.
I mean, yeah, it's not
Westy Chapel now.
it's not as bad as Atlanta or LA or anything like that, but there's definitely a lot of traffic, or maybe my patience is getting lower and lower. What else? Our airport.
Oh, number one in the country.
I thought I was being biased every time I went somewhere and said, "Oh man, I used to love our airport." I thought it was just because I knew my way around our airport,
Yeah,
and which
Tampa
makes it easy.
International
But
is-
it is the number one airport in the country. It's just easy to get around and
And they keep
pretty beautiful.
literally every time we go to the airport or
Construction.
drive by, they are constantly just doing amazing things. Whether it's, long-term parking, whether it's the tram that'll take you from the car rental spots or getting baggage, but it's just a very easy airport to figure out.
It's an
and
international airport, so you can
Yeah.
get flights out of there to just about anywhere.
Yeah, and not only do we have Tampa International, we have a smaller airport across the bridge in St. Pete.
St. Pete Clearwater Airport.
That also is an easy access airport.
Yep.
Very proud of our airports.
Probably the number one reason out of state people want to move to Tampa.
It's not our weather.
The beaches. The beaches. We're very close to the beaches. Probably 30 minutes to get to any
Yeah.
beach from the Tampa area. Clear water.
If you are right in smack in the middle of the heart of Tampa, let's say like by the Bucks Stadium, easy 30-40 minute commute to the beach. To the beaches. From Tampa, there's going to be 3 bridges that'll take you across to Pinellas, Causeway, Howard Franklin, and the Gandy. So those bridges are pretty much
They go
flow.
over the bay,
Mhm.
and they'll take you over to the coast. Our beach, for those of you that haven't been here, our West Coast beach up against the Gulf, it's not like the East Coast. So I think our sand is way nicer. It's just like that candy white, thick, powdery
white.
sand.
Yeah.
we're
You're thinking
all-
about candy right now, aren't you?
No, just because about candy sand. On the East Coast, you're going to have a darker sand with a little bit more shell in it, if you will.
And probably darker water. I feel like on the Atlantic side, water is a little bit colder, a little bit darker, and definitely a stronger current riptide on the East Coast. West Coast, I feel like we have the powdery white beaches and more clearer water.
Clear water. I think the beaches are nicer on the West Coast, unless you're going fishing. If you're going fishing,
Then you wanna be on
the
the
East
East
Coast is way better. You could get to deep ground
Within 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5
You could still
minutes.
see people on the beach and you're in 100 foot of water. Whereas in Tampa Bay, you're having to go out a good 20 miles just to get into 50 feet of water. But our main beaches are going to be Clearwater. That is probably a very big
touristy type
spring
beach.
break attraction is Clearwater, but most of the locals will go
St. Pete,
to
St. Pete Beach, Fort DeSoto Park,
Paso Grill,
Grill.
Madeira, Reddington, Treasure Island, all
You can make it all the way
those.
down to Venice and Sarasota.
Yeah,
I mean, those are
beaches
beautiful
gorgeous.
beaches. If you really want to see a beautiful beach, Clearwater, and then go down to Sarasota.
And
There's
south.
gorgeous beaches.
Oh, and I have to say, for those that always ask, Apollo Beach. There is no beach in Apollo Beach. So when people see really amazing prices for homes and they're like, in Apollo Beach, we want to go, There is not a beach there. I don't know why it's called Apollo Beach, but
yeah, I mean, there's marinas there, and you can get a boat out and stuff like that, but there's really no beach, if you will. Yeah, I think it's a poor name. But anyways,
Wait, choose it.
yeah. Downtown, our downtown is growing
Slowly but surely.
I mean, from when I was a kid, that thing has really grown. I mean, it's an attraction now.
Oh, it is now.
Where it was never before.
Right.
Now you can go to downtown to visit some bars, some restaurants. The Tampa Theaters down there has been there for years.
Yeah.
Museum in downtown.
Glaciers Museum. Yeah, there's a huge library.
Business, of course, huge business.
Everything has really started to grow around our downtown. So before it was dead unless you were, on banker's hours from 8 to 5. Now you'll see people there all the time.
There's nightlife in downtown.
And there's nightlife, yeah.
Yeah. So downtown is right next to what they call the Riverwalk, which has become a really nice place to go hang out on the weekends. The car shows, boat shows,
movies on the lawn, just anything that you would want to do outdoors.
Long walkway to exercise, walk, take your dogs, right along the river. Beautiful scenery. You can take river cabs.
Oh yeah, a river taxi.
River cab, yeah.
River
you
taxi.
can take that from one part of some bars and restaurants to a different part. So that's kind of neat.
Our downtown is definitely starting to grow. We've got high-rise condominiums popping up on every corner where before no one lived downtown. You just went to downtown to work and you drove back home to wherever you lived, but now
that's definitely
downtown
changed.
is starting to get a lot of condos.
It also butts up to Channelside. Don't look now, but we do have a video on Channelside. But Channelside is extremely trendy, high rises where people are living at. The Tampa Bay Lightning play right there.
Right there at the arena. We got
some of the cruise ships come into there. Just a beautiful area for that city type of living.
So our nightlife has really started to bustle around downtown.
It really has.
Channelside, Sparkman's Wharf, you've got Harbor Island, Armature Works, and this is all connected by sidewalks. So if you're an avid walker, runner, dog walker, what have you, you could start at one end and literally catch breakfast, lunch, dinner in just different areas. And if you don't want to walk, we did something a few weeks ago.
There's a trolley.
We took a trolley.
From downtown, first time ever on a trolley for us.
We had a tourist day.
Yeah, we had a tourist day. We started off in downtown and we took the trolley over to Ybor City and we just had a great time and we made a whole day out of it. And it was a really nice time too. We actually seen our city through the eyes of a tourist almost.
Right, and we had fun. Neat. Yeah, and our trolleys are free. They probably run, have stops maybe like every 15 minutes. So it's not as if you're going to have to wait long.
Yeah, I think it was 15.
But we started around Harbor Island, which is in downtown. Stopped off in Channelside at Sparkman's Wharf, grabbed a few drinks. Again, he said we went to Ybor, had dinner. So the trolley is a pretty fun thing for us since we don't go to San Francisco and ride trolleys.
So, other than the nightlife, what things are there to do in the Tampa area?
Goodness.
There's a ton of things to do. I mean, we already talked about the beaches. You could go to the beach anytime you wish. Not that far at all. You can. Busch Gardens, we have a theme park right in Tampa, Busch Gardens, Adventure Island.
Famous, roller coasters. I just heard on the news, or one of our roller coasters again just took like #1. So that's Busch Gardens. There's Adventure Island.
Right across the street.
Water
park, nice water park. What else?
We've got the Florida Aquarium, which is down there by Channelside. So if you love marine life and wanting to pet manatees and see live coral, and I believe there's other, maybe, I don't know if there are sharks in there, but there are, things like grouper and maybe dolphins. But we do have
stingrays and stuff.
Yeah, definitely that. An interactive area. Your kids can actually reach in the water and touch them.
The Mosey Museum.
Yep, we've got
Museum of Science and Industry. It's really neat, especially for kids. They'll go there and do
our kids actually went in there and they had a simulation for a hurricane, and everything was just spinning around and their hair was going crazy. But that was pretty cool when they were little. The
Lowry Park Zoo.
Amazing zoo. We've got everything from elephants to giraffes to tigers and Monkeys, lots of monkeys, gorillas, all that. So Lori Park is a really great area. They have, like right now they have Zubu, I think, for Halloween.
Hollow Scream.
Hollow Scream is Busch Gardens.
Oh, okay.
And then if those parks are not enough for you,
an hour and 10 minutes to Disney World.
to Orlando.
Yeah, we're going to be in Disney World in about an hour and 10 minutes. So that's, we get it all the time. People that move, especially for whatever reason, a lot of people that come from out of state, they love to go back and forth to Orlando, not necessarily live there, but go to the theme parks there.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. You've got Disney, Universal, Islands of Adventure, SeaWorld,
Medieval Times.
Volcano Bay, Medieval Times. I mean, you can watch horses jousting with knights on them and eat food with your hand because they won't give you silverware, so you get big turkey legs and, just fun things like that. But definitely, House of Mouse in Orlando, a quick hour and 15.
For those of you that love fishing, very easy place to just get on the river and go out on the bay and do fishing there, or you can go out to the coast and go on in the Gulf and go fishing there.
Yeah, we have lots of areas along St. Pete, Clearwater, all the way down to, he hasn't been, but I have, out of Tarpon Springs. We'll do charters out of there, and even like Hudson and Hernando. So pretty easy access to the water and fishing and water sports, things like that.
So what else? Colleges. We have the University of South Florida.
USF.
Great school, great engineering program.
Medical
program.
Doctors, yep.
So they've really scaled up in the last few years.
Yeah, we're actually going to be getting our own
football stadium.
Yeah,
they keep talking about a football stadium. I don't know if that's finally approved or not, but I actually think it is. But they were playing at Raymond James where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play.
Also,
other than University of South Florida, University of Tampa. University of Tampa is probably one of the prettiest colleges in Florida for sure.
Yeah.
What are those things called? It looks like Russia.
They look like in Moscow. The tops of the buildings is
so University of Tampa started off as a hotel way back in the day. Now it's a private college. I believe they have a very good cybersecurity program. Business program they have as well. Great baseball team.
Oh my gosh, like #1, 10 years in a row on state championships.
Yep, great baseball team there for sure.
So if you're ever downtown along Armature Works, and you look across the river, you will be staring at UT. And at night, there is not a more beautiful college to look at. Actually, they even people hold weddings there, and almost everybody does their graduation pictures there, wedding pictures, engagement pictures. It's just a beautiful, beautiful college. And again, a really good one. USF is public, UT is private, so it may be a little, well, not a little, it's going to be a lot more than what you would expect to pay for regular tuition.
Another college is St. Leo University. St. Leo University in San Antonio.
Or Dade City.
No, I think it's considered San
Antonio.
Antonio.
It's right on
it's right there on the corner,
you go
edge.
This way, you're in Dade City, one way in San Antonio, but
they have beautiful, beautiful college as well. Good baseball program there, good lacrosse program there.
If you're ever looking to see a hill, just go to St. Leo, and there's like maybe 3 or 4 little hills, nothing like North Carolina, but just a beautiful college that is in a different location than what you're expecting to see for normal Tampa flatland. Beautiful college though.
Then we have a couple other colleges on the other side of the bay. Eckerd College, a good law program there, and a couple other smaller colleges around the area as well.
JC.
Hillsborough Community College and all that.
Fernando. There's a few.
So now we're going to talk about the two biggest things that we get from out-of-staters.
We left them for last.
What are the two biggest things people want to know about? Hurricanes and alligators. We grew up in Florida, and we have just gone through a major hurricane.
And did we board up our house?
We didn't board up our house.
We didn't evacuate.
You know what? Probably the last people you want to be around during a hurricane is Floridians. Because we're used to it. Unfortunately, we're used to it. And I gotta take it lightly because again, there's been huge
Devastation.
devastation just
Yes.
an hour and a half south of us
Yes.
just recently. So unfortunately, us Floridians,
We've been very fortunate.
we've been very fortunate here in the Tampa area.
I don't even know, like, the last time we had a major hit.
No.
I mean, obviously we've been here, I've been here 50 years. We've never evacuated. We've never had to board up our house. This last Hurricane Ian, we lost internet.
Yep,
but
never lost power.
We didn't lose power. We, again, very fortunate. We had maybe a few tree limbs come down, but it was nothing that we could even complain about.
Here's what you got to know about hurricanes. You know they're coming. You know more or less where they're going to be. If you need to get out or you want to get out or your risk tolerance tells you to get out, just you have time to get out.
Right.
You know, you have time to prepare. You can board up your house. You can do things if it's.
You could get a generator.
You
You
could-
can.
yeah.
So what was really interesting with this last hurricane was Ian was we have two sons, one that lives in Orlando and one in DC. So we were completely freaked out for ourselves. Well, not completely freaked out, but we were concerned about our home. Our kids were calling, checking on us. We were fine. We didn't lose power. The next day, as Ian cut across the state, our son, who was right in the middle in Orlando, he's a few minutes from a major lake in Orlando, Lake Eola, and it was
Flooded over the
flooded
streets.
over.
Yeah.
There was people that couldn't even get out of their condos because the parking garages and things like that were flooded. And then a few days later, it made its way all the way up to DC, where our son doesn't have a car and walks to work and was literally saying, it's raining, and it was all remnants of Ian. But I felt like they almost had worse weather than we did here in Tampa. But hurricanes is definitely something that you need to be cognizant of.
And you prepare for it. You watch the maps. You watch the spaghetti models, and you decide if you want to take off or not. That's really what it boils down to. It's not going to surprise you. So that's the biggest thing about hurricanes. Alligators.
Yes, alligators, they're eating everybody here.
The only alligator I like is the one from University of Florida. But go Gators. But no, alligators too. You don't mess with them. They don't mess with you.
This is what I tell people when people come from out of state and they see water and they ask me if an alligator is in there. I say always assume there is an alligator in there. Now, I'm a big water person, loved fishing. We lived on a lake for almost 12 years, maybe more. I paddleboard at least, I would say 3 times a week, and I've seen alligators in the lake. Now, do I go right over to them and hit them in the head with a paddle? No. I've actually accidentally caught one off of our dock while I was fishing for bass, and it turned loose of my bait. But yes, we do have alligators. They can be in a retention pond, they can be in a lake. You'll see them sunbathing, but you just don't
mess with them. They don't mess with you. If you see that they get really, really big or they're starting to get aggressive, here's where they get aggressive is when you get these folks that want to start all of a sudden throwing food at the alligators. And
now the alligator is here every day in your backyard.
Now
If you
they
live on the
become
water,
aggressive. Yeah.
if you're in a community
Then
that
you don't
doesn't have a lake or a pond, you could live your entire
Without
life
seeing
in
it.
Florida
Yeah.
and never see an alligator. But obviously, if you're on a pond, on a lake, and you've got people feeding them, yeah, they're gonna tell their friends, hey, this guy's got chicken, so now we're coming here every day. But
And then if they become a nuisance, they get big, you call the hotline and
Wildlife will come,
they'll come over and
wrangle them up.
they'll remove the alligator from them and let them go into the wild or certain lakes that they have
We'll take them to
purpose
Miami.
for them. No, actually, there's a big lake in Orlando for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness,
But,
well, over there. But yeah, mating season, I feel like it's, gosh, don't quote me, but I want to say like March, April, May maybe. And that's the times that they do become aggressive because if, just like you're a mama bear, you've got your little babies, eggs and things right there by your nest and something's coming by, yeah, they're going to be on guard. And mating season too, again, just that's the time that you don't want to mess with them, throw things at them, or do anything like that. But as long as you leave them alone, they will leave you alone. You're not going to wake up in the morning and have to look under your car every day to see if there's an alligator under there. It doesn't happen.
Now, snake, there could be other critters or whatever, just make sure you're okay. But if you don't live on wetlands, you don't live on conservation,
Yeah,
you know,
your
but
chances of seeing an alligator, a
yeah,
snake, and all that. We have in our backyard garden snakes, but that's just conducive to Florida. They don't bite.
Again, don't mess with them. They don't mess
Yeah.
with you. But that's it. But hey, thank you for joining us on our talk of Tampa and the most common questions of Tampa. If you're looking to make that smooth move to Tampa, make sure you like, subscribe, and tap that bell for notification. All of our contact information is in the link below. Feel free to reach out at any time. We'd love to talk to you, chat with you about Tampa.
Yeah, we'd love to help you make that smooth move to Tampa. And if you do have any other questions that we did not touch on, drop them in the comments, or you can again, get our link in the description and shoot us a text, email, phone call, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
See you around town.
Yep. Bye.